You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, November 16th. My name is Joey Galvez, and I have a special guest. We have Ambrosha, which we gave her the night off, but we're going to be talking to Patrick Coyle here tonight. He is a creator of Bixby Grant. We're going to talk to him a little bit about that, but he's going to stick around the show and be our co-host tonight. Well, so we'll see him right after this. All right, welcome to the show. Welcome, Patrick. How's it going, man? It's been good. Been a little bit of, we've been hanging out and talking to each other a lot lately because you got a campaign running right now on Kickstarter, right?
That's right. It's actually in its last, let's see, what time is it? We got 12 more hours.
Ooh,
and
it's doing pretty good.
Yeah, so far so good. It's been I've never run a Kickstarter before, so with your help, of course, it's done really well over this last 30 days. And for those who don't know, it's called Bixby Grant Private Eye. It's about a mummy detective who lives in a city kind of overrun with monsters and creatures and ghouls and stuff. And yeah, that's basically the high concept.
Yeah, and it's so cool. I've had the privilege to be in the backstage, kind of watching this thing go, and man, it's been so fun to watch you guys. With from the conception to the the everything in between. I wasn't there when you guys were doing the writing process and all that stuff, but seeing you bring all this stuff forward and sharing all these things with me, it's been really cool, really fun ride. I'm very excited for you and this new adventure, because this is your first comic book, 30 years in the making, and you got an excellent, stellar team. So very, very cool. But that's not why you're here. That's not the only reason here, right? You're here to hang out with me and talk to me about some really cool stuff. So what we do, Patrick, you haven't been a part of the show, but you've watched a few times before. What we do right here in this first segment is we talk a little bit about what we've been watching. Have you been watching anything lately? Anything good on the television?
I have been watching Andor.
Okay.
And, I know one drop today. So as of this recording, I have not watched episode 11, but I've seen up through 10.
See, I watched like the second episode, I believe, but then I kind of fell off and started watching something else because the something else took my priorities away from Andor. Please don't cancel me for that, please, because it's been peripheral that I've been watching. But before we get into talking about all this stuff, we have a little bumper that we like to play here so that we know what we are going to be talking about. So let's go ahead and move on to our first segment called "What's on Our Watch List."
All right.
All right, Patrick, we did start talking a little bit about it before we moved on here. But so you're watching Andor. How's it going, Cool Gamer? I'm watching Peripheral right now. I don't know if you've been seeing that one. It's on, I believe it's on Prime. And it's a crazy thing. Like they use you get put into this AI body that like is in the future, and it's crazy, like that's how they communicate, and it's absolutely nuts. I think I'm 1 or 2 episodes behind, but it's absolutely crazy, and that one took up some of my time. All this voting stuff has been crazy here in Arizona, so that's been on the TV. So, and my wife's been like glued to it, so I haven't been able to watch any of my stuff. But man, it's been really cool. But talk to me a little bit about Andor without any spoilers, though.
Yes, of course. Be very careful. I've been meaning to watch Peripheral. It's on the top. It's within my short list of next shows to watch. Andor has been a lot of fun in that this is no surprise. I think a lot of people have talked about this. It's kind of Star Wars without the Star Wars, I think is the way that New York Times described it, which I think is pretty dead on. So it's Tony Gilroy, who made Nightcrawler, that movie, not affiliated with the X-Men, but starring Jake Gyllenhaal. And he also made Michael Clayton and just a bunch. He's a great filmmaker. And it's a very serious, kind of spy and now prison drama. set just so happens to be set in the Star Wars universe. Like it could be anywhere else, honestly. But you get little tidbits, and I'm not going to spoil anything. Well, one of the main characters everybody knows is Mon Mothma. And then there's some other characters, new characters that we see within the Empire. And it's a lot of fun. Kind of my favorite part of Star Wars has always been street level. Like, like I love Jedi's great. I love Ahsoka. I love Rebels. I love a bunch of other Jedi related stuff, but I always loved Han Solo, Chewbacca, pirates, Jabba the Hutt, street level stuff. And so you get a lot of that here with people down the lower levels of Coruscant, you know, with kind of rendezvousing and passing secrets, and the Empire trying to squash them. And it's kind of a fun, different take.
I love that stuff too, man. That kind of that anti-hero kind of street level kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, Bixby Grant is that, right? I got to see a little bit of that, and it definitely feels a lot like that. And you guys, I've been talking about Bixby Grant for the past month, and you guys are probably like tired of hearing me say it, but seriously, it's so cool. About a mummy detective, you know, chasing after werewolves, and it's freaking cool. It's gonna be, and it's like a pulp noir. You guys are gonna be into it. Trust me, you're gonna be into it. But yeah, man, I'm there we go. Thank you for putting up the link there.
Sweet.
So yeah, check it out if you guys are into Kickstarter and all that good stuff. It's already been funded, so anybody who jumps on now, you're gonna get the book. So, and it's what over 180 pages, right?
No, sorry, it's 80 pages.
80 pages. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm thinking of, I got too many projects.
I know you're involved in a few different ones. It's hard to keep track of all of them.
Yeah.
It's 80 pages of original material, never appeared in a webcomic anywhere else. It's the first collaboration between me and Gonzalo Martinez, the artist. And all new, brand new stuff. Self-contained story, so you don't have to worry about waiting for the next issue. You get a beginning, middle, and an end, and actually a short backup story too.
So I don't want to kind of abruptly move on, but I'm gonna abruptly move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wakanda Forever has happened last week, and we're not going to talk about any spoilers. But did you see it?
I did. I went with my daughter this weekend and saw it with a crowded theater, and it was a lot of fun.
That's very cool. That's very good. Did everybody get up and chant and get loud and crazy like some other movies did? They did.
Not as much as I would have liked.
Okay.
There were a couple, applause points, but nobody like shouting Wakanda Forever.
It's always fun when you go to those rowdy, theaters, and you're like, all right, this crowd's gonna be pretty rowdy today. It's gonna be awesome. But I've been to somewhere it's like, come on, guys, get loud with me. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, no, this was like a midday showing, families. It wasn't like, I think if I had gone to the midnight show, there would have been a lot more of that.
Nice. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I have not seen it yet. Me and my son are planning on going very soon. I wanted to wait till the crowds die down a little bit.
Sure.
So I think we're probably gonna go. I don't know. We might hit it up tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Cool. Well, he's at his grandmother's, but we're probably gonna see what we're gonna do this week or this weekend. But we're definitely gonna do it. I think we might be getting my wife into this because out of nowhere the other day she wanted to watch Black Panther, the first one. So I'm just like, okay, she never wants to watch. Listen, she hates comic books, right? And I'm a big, huge comic book geek.
Yeah.
And so her saying, let's watch a comic book movie. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's go. And it was Black Panther. She's like, well, we got to get ready. And I was like, get ready for what? What does that mean? So does that mean that we're all going to go watch Wakanda Forever? So I'm just kind of anticipating for that one.
That'd be awesome.
Very, very cool.
There's something about the Black Panther movie, the first one, and definitely the second one, that kind of transcends, I think, regular superhero movies for a lot of people who, like your wife, wouldn't go see a Marvel movie. But there's something a little more cultural to this one, and something a little more worldly about it. It feels so different in tone and in story, and in performances than some of the others.
Yeah, I'm very excited because we got Tenoch Huerta. So that I'm very excited to kind of see his performance. Everybody's been talking about that. Very, very cool. We do have a little bit of news here talking about Wakanda Forever here in the Marvel news here. Where later on we're going to talk about. But yes, we got our producer that said Wakanda Forever is a major, big budget blockbuster movie with an almost 90% female cast. It's a rarity. Very cool.
Yes.
Very, very cool. I love that. I also heard that we may have, let's see. We might be having some internet difficulties, guys. Sorry if there's anything that drops out. It's our internet. Please bear with us. I heard that Angela Bassett, people are saying that she might be getting an Oscar for this one if they were ever to give out Oscars for a comic book movie, like, because they don't like to do that, right?
Right. It would be. I would be very surprised if they did that, but she was fantastic in this. They gave her a lot more to do. I mean, she was good in the first one too, and she's good in everything. She's Angela Bassett, but she was phenomenal in this.
But this is a grieving mama, though, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So I'm all about that. I'd be down for that. People are saying that this is they've done a whole lot for that. So all right. So let's see. Let's go ahead and move on to our geek news. We're gonna be talking a little bit about that here in a second. Thank you guys, and sorry again. I'm gonna reiterate this. We're having a little bit. Our producers having a little bit of internet issues, so if we are slow to get things going, just bear with us. Sorry about that. So first up, I did want to say that, and maybe I'm bringing the house down here a little bit, but I did want to say something a little bit about. We did lose Kevin Conroy last time that we saw each other, so we wanted to show some of the stuff. Bill Sienkiewicz, gave a little cool little tribute here, and he drew something very, very cool here. I thought this was really cool when I got to see this. Did you get to see this yet?
I did. I saw it in prep for the show.
Yeah,
awesome. I had not seen it, but it's beautiful. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very cool. I thought this was really cool. And man, I mean, it kind of stinks. Like, I know Batman, the animated series, was a huge influence on some of your writing. Is that correct?
That's right. Actually, a lot of the tone of Bixby Grant is kind of taken from that. I mean, it's been around now for 30 years, and it influenced so many other series. There was the Superman follow-up and the Batman Beyond and Justice League. And Kevin Conroy has just been part of it the entire way. Like, when I read a Batman comic, he's the voice I hear for Batman.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's for everybody, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like that, the Batman the Animated Series and X-Men the Animated Series were the two cartoons that got me into comic books. Like, that was playing. I wanted to watch that every day after school, right? And then I was like, well, this is a comic book. I want to go check it out. There's comic books in the ice cream shop around the corner. I'm gonna go check it out. Sure. And that's where I got my first comic book. And everybody's heard this story before, and I'm gonna tell it again. My first comic book that I ever bought with my own money was X-Men Volume 2, number 1. The connecting covers, the Jim Lee covers.
Sure.
So I've had those, and the one that I had was the one with the fold out, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so that I bought that for the first time in like the 90s. It was maybe like 2 or 3 years after it came out, and it was still on the rack in the ice cream shop. Nice. And yeah, very cool. I bought it off of a spinner rack, like, very, very cool. And then years later, I was like, I have to find this book. Where's this book? I couldn't remember what book it was because I was just a kid. I didn't know all the volume 1 and issue 2, all that stuff, right? So as an adult, I went back and found them all, and I have them all framed, even the connecting cover. I have all connecting covers, and then the one with the fold out as well.
Nice.
I'm still trying to find a way to make enough money to get the Mexico releases. those are way expensive.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's just because there's a color change, and it was very cool. But that was my first comic book, and it was all because of Batman the Animated Series and X-Men. Sure. And the reason why I got that one was because I was really into X-Men at that point, really into Batman too. So much that I went and I had a buddy who asked me to be a part of a Batman podcast. We were about I did about 20 something episodes with him.
Cool.
So it was really fun. So it's a huge influence. And when I heard this, it was really, really sad day, but it kind of stinks, but
Yeah,
in order to just kind of celebrate him instead of mourning him, I definitely I got my Batman over here, my Batman Funko Pop always nearby, and I definitely hear Conroy's voice every single time that I see it. So
for sure.
very cool. DC's James Gunn and Peter Safran, they're close to their end of their what they are going to be outlining for the franchise. This one's pretty cool because this one is going to give us a roadmap to what they're going to be doing, right? But this is some really cool stuff because they're talking about the one thing that they said in the article is that they're going to drive the hell out of DC. That makes me wonder, what are they saying? Are they giving us a play on words? What do you think they're saying? Because they're saying there's not going to be 4 Batman.
Right.
There's not going to be all the stuff that we've been getting. We're not going to be where they're going to just basically, get rid of the multiversal kind of thing. And they're going to start something different. We're going to see some things that the last people that were in charge of the franchise weren't even thinking about. I mean, come on, we saw James Gunn bring freaking Polka Dot Man to life. Like,
right.
What the heck are they gonna do? What do you think they're gonna do, man?
I don't know, man. I'm really curious to find out. The interesting part is I hope they find a creative and fun way to get rid of the parts that they don't like, and an equally creative way to keep. Like it's basically Crisis on Infinite Earths back in the 80s, right? It's like let's sweep away everything we don't like and just pluck the stuff that we do, and now it's all one, universe.
And then they did it again with what was it? They did the future one, whatever, and then they did Reborn, Rebirth, or whatever.
Yep.
Then they did another one recently. It's like they continue to reset everything every like 10 years.
Right. No, and you can't as easily reset the films because they're multi-billion-dollar franchises, right? So they don't the ones that did well, like Aquaman and some of the Justice League, like, are they going to pay attention to any of the Snyderverse, or are they going to reboot? Like, are they going to cast a new Batman, or what happens to the Matt Reeves stuff? Like, so I don't know.
I'm wondering if the Matt Reeves Batman is going to be the Batman now.
Yeah.
That's the direction I would go.
Yes.
If they're going to reel back all this stuff, but what does that mean for the Flash? Because in the Flash, we also got I still haven't even seen Black Adam, but I know that there's some cameos in there for some of these people that they might be thinking about getting rid of because there's some key people that they're using in these movies now that are just dropping. So how are they going to do that? They're saying that they're almost done with this outline of their franchise.
Yeah.
If that's what it is, if I'm gonna read between their lines here a little bit, I'm thinking they're doing something completely different. They're not even going to think about those as part of the universe right now, and they're just gonna start completely clean. I don't know if they might not even cast a new Batman. They're probably gonna get rid of that idea and do something within the Batman universe, but not a Batman. I don't think that's where they're gonna go. They're gonna say there's too many Batmans, there's too many Jokers. There's too much Harley Quinn at this point.
Yep.
I think they're going to go a completely different direction. I'd love to see a Nightwing standalone. Right? How cool would that be?
That'd be pretty sweet.
Maybe a Red Hood.
Sure.
Like I don't know. What would you like to see?
Plastic Man.
Yes.
I mean, it'd be really hard to pull off Plastic Man in live action, even with the best CG.
Man. Who is your Plastic Man? Ryan Reynolds. Everybody's
He'd be pretty good. Good. I'm hard pressed to think of somebody who would be better. But I mean, I'd rather get somebody new. He's already Deadpool,
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's been dropping all kinds of hints for Deadpool in the last few weeks. So pretty cool. So here, we're on the topic of Joker and Harley Quinn here a little bit. I saw some pictures here of a fan, what Harley Quinn could look like. It's just, I mean, it's cool, but here's the thing. I've always wondered what they're gonna do with this. Look how that could look pretty cool. I think it's just a kind of artist kind of thing. Um, but here's the thing. What do you think they're gonna do? There's rumors that this is gonna be a musical. It's gonna be set in an insane asylum. Like, what are we gonna see? Are we gonna see Harley Quinn or Dr. Quinzel? Like, what do you think we're gonna see here with this Joker 2?
I don't know. I mean, I had no idea what to expect in the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the DCU or right. So they kind of have carte blanche, so they could.
Yeah.
If I were them, and I was given the keys to the toy chest, I would want to redo my own version of Harley Quinn if I've already invented my own Joker.
And that's exactly what I would do too.
Yeah,
reinvent her. And I would love to see I would like to see the whole dynamic between Dr. Quinzel and Joker and the down, like, because I've always wondered, how does one doctor who's supposed to be this person who is helping these people with these mental illness get pulled down along with them?
Yeah.
Right. And I've always wanted to discover how that worked. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
I want to see that. I want to see how she falls into that. I don't know, what is it, honey trap? Does it work that way?
kind of. I mean, you could argue that it's what do you call it? When you get kidnapped,
yes, I know what
you know what I'm talking about. I can't, but when you start to love your captors, right? So
like Patty Hearst type
exactly. But they've explored that a little bit, like in Mad Love and some of the other comics. People have explored it, but we haven't gotten a lot of it in live action.
I would love to see something like that.
Yeah,
I think that would be especially with the tone that they've already set up. I think it would be perfect set for that kind of, for this, at least for this film.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a fit. Talking a little bit about that. Is there any other kind of if we're gonna see Joker and Harley, do you want to see any more villains or any other Batman rogues gallery in this movie? Stockholm syndrome. Thank you, BT.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
I knew it was a Scandinavian country.
Yeah.
That's, but I couldn't pull it.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
It was right there. I'd rather see them just tell a good story with less characters. Like, a lot of the sequels always fall into this trap, which is they want to get as much IP out as possible, as quickly as possible. So they jam in a bunch of other characters, and it doesn't always work. Like, it worked okay in The Dark Knight, and it worked okay in a couple other movies. But if you're going to tell the story of Harley and the Joker, just tell that story. I don't think we need anybody. You could hint. You could have a little cameo, but don't make it part of the main story. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I would like, I mean, if we're in an insane asylum and the Joker is sent in there, so it has to almost feel like there's gotta be at least some other people that from the rogues gallery in there, right?
Sure.
So we got to see at least something. So people have taken to the internet and said, here we go. Here's the artist rendition of Poison Ivy, and here's somebody that they think that should play that role. They see Megan Fox transformed into Poison Ivy here. I don't know if I'm into Megan Fox being a Poison Ivy in this world. I don't know if it fits within the Batman. But I maybe I'd like to see a Poison Ivy, maybe somebody who's lost their mind a little bit, or maybe maybe a Mad Hatter, or
sure.
What's the guy's name? Who's the guy, the dude with the freaking puppet.
Oh, the ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist.
I love the ventriloquist.
Maybe the ventriloquist is in
Yeah.
there, and he feels like he's going nuts because he doesn't have his puppet.
Hey, dummy! He still
Yeah,
hears the
dummy.
voice.
Yeah, he still hears the voice. I was like, oh man, like they have an episode of that on the animated series?
They did.
So,
yeah, when he gets out and then he still hears the voice talking to him. Yeah.
So I would love to see something like that. Like they could do so much cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of good stuff. But I don't think I would like to see Megan Fox as Poison Ivy.
No.
But I would totally like to see you know, some of the crazier you know, kind of you know, people who would actually fit within the insane asylum.
Sure.
I think it would work very well with that.
As long as it's cameos, just don't make them part of the major storyline. I think that'd be great.
I think if like I want to see a movie like what was that movie called? See, here's another thing that's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember the movie. But Jack Nicholson in what is it? It's that famous movie that he's in when he's super young, is in the insane asylum.
Oh, come on, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Nest.
One
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah,
I want a Joker. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
That's what I want. That's what I want to see, and I want to see. I want all the if they're gonna have any kind of rogues gallery, that's what I want. I don't want One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
You know who was in that though? Danny DeVito. Yeah. So he could be the Penguin again. There
you go. Yeah. Right? So that's what I want. Joker 2 / One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Let's go ahead and move on to Marvel news. Let's talk a little bit about Wakanda Forever. We got Wakanda Forever has hit 200 million in the box office. I'm sure it's hit more now since the last time that I've read this article. But dude, that's freaking crazy. And the second weekend is forecast to be even more nuts. Do you think that this is, I mean, do you think, here we go, we were just, you know, a few months ago, there was talks that some of these theaters were going to be dead, and now look what's going on. Yeah. Now, do you feel like we're in full-fledged back to the theaters?
For Marvel and genre stuff, absolutely. Yeah. Like this is going to break 1 billion easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've got the holiday weekend coming up. Which they were, I know it's no accident they put it out 2 weeks before,
right,
before Thanksgiving,
so that they could hit every single week box office goals. And
people are going to go back. People who really enjoyed it will say, take their friends and their family. They want to get out of the house during Thanksgiving. Yep. And it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention it's a good movie. So it's not just that people want to get out of the house.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna probably go hit this week, and maybe, depending on, like, listen, here's the thing, right? Like, we're gonna have family over too, and it's a lot more fun doing these things with family, man, or a group. So totally, we might take my brother and a couple of his kids. So
nice,
and that's how it might be. Go. Here we go. I got another one here about Wakanda Forever. I did not get to read this article too far, because if you go too far, there's a lot of spoilers. So I only read a little bit of it, right?
Okay.
But they're talking about how Wakanda Forever could pave the way for the X-Men for them to bring in the X-Men to the MCU. Obviously, that's because of Namor, right? And maybe JD, you don't want to pull that up because there's some spoilers on that article there. Alan Dunford in the house. What's going on, man? This is another creator that I work with right now. I don't want to say anything. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. But Alan Dunford and Patrick are two amazing creators, cut from the same cloth, is all I'm going to say. Definitely. If you guys are not following these two people, you guys are definitely going to need to be following them after today, because they are going to be doing great things in the future. I can guarantee that.
Shucks.
Seriously. But this one obviously is going to be paving the way because of Namor. Namor is obviously the first mutant, right?
Yep.
So I haven't seen it, so without saying a lot of spoilers or giving anything, how do you feel that this is going to be paving the way to bring the X-Men into the MCU?
I mean, I think it's pretty much what you said. So the whole Namor thing, it's really just a a very small seed that they plant in this movie. They don't make a big thing out of it, and I'm not going to spoil anything.
I love that.
But it's, I've always felt like the Namor being the first mutant has always been kind of controversial, and I've never been a huge fan of it, personally. But I mean, it's also, I'm fine with it. I don't like, there's no fanboy rage. It's just, it is what it is, and there's not much I can do about it. But because he was already like part of the Defenders, he was already affiliated with the Fantastic Four more as a villain. He was with the Avengers for a long time. Like, he doesn't need to be an X-Men too. But
I mean, Wolverine did a lot of the same thing though, right? He was part of the Avengers.
Yeah,
X-Men.
It's true, but they did that to sell books though. Namor's never really been one who's going to be pushing a lot of extra copies out the door. But that said, I think that it does. You get a little seed that's going to probably grow from here. And well, I don't want to say anything else.
I love that. I love just saying that right now, right there is perfect, because I've been on the other side of the thing. I've loved that Namor was the first mutant.
Okay.
Maybe the comics, you're just like, wait, how? Okay, wait. Okay. Well, did you guys just make him like, okay, I get some of the controversy. I get how people are like, okay, well, not really. But I loved the idea that he was I love that he was the first mutant, because now we're going to be seeing him in here, especially on the silver screen, because now we're really we have a mutant in the MCU now.
Yeah.
Now we have to have more. And that's one of the reasons why I was very excited for Wakanda Forever. I was even more excited because now they're going to be bringing into the MCU a little bit of my culture here. You know what I mean? Because it's super, super cool. A lot of people are kind of get a little upset. There's like, this is not the Namor and all this stuff. That's just Mayan and all this other stuff. Listen, whatever. If you guys look back into some of this stuff about the lost city of Atlantis or whatever, there's a lot of stuff that talks a little bit about that. That's very similar to a lot of the Mexican culture and the pyramids and stuff out over there in Mexico and stuff. So, I think they did a really good job, just without seeing the full movie.
I think it was awesome, actually. I never had a problem with them changing him. At first, I was like, huh, that's interesting. But it makes total sense. Like, let's make it so that the MCU is more inclusive of more cultures. Like, we've already gotten a little bit from here and there. Let's broaden it out so that it's getting some Mexican and Aztec culture in there. It's fantastic.
I'm all about it.
I do not have a problem with them switching it from Atlantis. I mean, yeah, it's not ruining my childhood. It's not the Namor I grew up with, but I think it's a nice way to kind of retcon it or change it to fit a more modern audience.
Yeah. See, this is I've never been that person that's like, that is not the Batman of my dreams, right? Like, it's never been like, I'm like, oh, cool. What are they gonna do with Batman, right?
Right.
Like, well, there's been some really cool stuff that we've seen people do with Batman, or seen people do with other IP, and it's like, cool, let's do something fresh, something new. I don't want to see my comic book just plastered up on the screen exactly the way it was. I can just read my comics,
right?
And just have my own headcanon. The way it'll play out the way I want it in my own head, right? I'd rather see somebody else's, how it played out in their head on there and be like, whoa, that was cool. So I'm all about that, but yeah, so that's cool. In the comic books, I don't know if you've been following some of the stuff that's been going on with Monica Rambeau. So in the comic books, they've been calling her what Spectrum and all this other stuff, right? Mrs. Captain Marvel, all that stuff. So in the MCU, they've been we got dropped some bombs the other like a few months back where they said that they were going to call her Photon. Looks like they're going to be changing it to Photon in the comic books as well, because they just dropped a comic book this week talking about they were introducing some of the people, and she was there, Monica Rambeau, and they said Photon. So in the comic books for so long, she's been known as Spectrum and all this stuff, but now they're actually changing it to the MCU name. What do you think about that? And how they're bringing some of this stuff from the MCU into the comic books?
Well, actually, so the reason, well, I don't know how they decided to use it in the movies, but when I was a kid, she was Captain Marvel, right? She was
Mhm.
the leader of the
Yeah.
Avengers for a while, and then when they brought back Captain Marvel before the female Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, they brought back the Marvel's son for a little while, and he was Captain
Okay.
Marvel. And at that point, she became Photon. So
Yeah.
that was in the early 90s. So
Yeah.
I didn't know she had changed her name. And when I saw this article, I was like, huh, I always thought she was Photon.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So I mean, a lot of writers didn't know what to do with her over the years. I thought that Roger Stern did a great job with her in the 80s, early 90s, and she was great in Next Wave. And certain writers know how to use her, but she bounced around, and people, it was one of those characters that kind of slipped through the cracks a lot.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that because of the movies, they're giving her a more solid identity. So I think that's good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And when I read this too, I was like, wait, wasn't she always Photon? Like, I'm glad that they kept it Photon.
Yeah,
because I don't think I like Spectrum.
I mean, I understand why they call it Spectrum, but it's still strange.
Right, very, very. So we got that, and then we so that's all the news we have. But I do have this one thing. Are you a Funko collector?
I do not collect Funko, but I think they're awesome.
They're so cool. I've got a handful full of them. We like to collect them. My boys really like them, right? And I've got 3 boys, and they really love these Funkos. One that I'm really excited about is that we get this freaking huge Sentinel Funko with a little tiny Wolverine.
Awesome.
But I've been noticing that they've been making these really big Funko Pops lately. Yeah. And I really want one so bad, just so I can have it back there,
sure,
and look cool on camera. But it's just because it's so huge, right? These little ones you can't really see very well on camera, right? But if I had that big, huge one, that would be so cool. So I'm just like, every time I see these pop up, like I'm like, I have to put that up there. Maybe it's because I'm hoping that my wife downstairs is watching, and she's like, all right, I see what he wants for Christmas now. But yeah, I'm all about this, man.
It's really cool.
What fun thing that is not comic books that you do collect? Is there anything like that you have?
It's not comics.
I
mean, like more like a collectible, but could be. Well,
yeah.
so I've got this. Where is it? Right here. This I think this is Mondo Modoc Tiki.
Oh yeah,
back here, which is pretty cool. I've got this Homer. Wait, sorry, I'm not good at my Homer Simpson wind up tin toy back awesome. Here. I do have a. Oh, you know what? Is this Funko? No, there's a tiny little Batman. Whoops, over this shoulder, right back.
Oh, I see.
Here. Yeah. He's hiding back there.
It's the little ones. Yeah, I don't think they're Funko, but I know which one those are.
You know what I have the most of, though, I think, is Lego sets. So I've got a ton of Marvel and Star Wars Lego sets.
That's awesome. Ambrosha are my co-host. She's a huge Lego collector.
Nice.
She her and her husband, they get those big, huge ones.
Nice.
Like he's got there was one year, I think it was like during Christmas last year, his work gifted them this big, huge Lego set, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I was so jealous. Sweet. I think it was a Razor Crest or something, that big, huge one.
Oh, nice.
It was so cool. I'm so jealous because I'm just like, I look at the price tags of those things, and I'm like, if I had that and I set out to build that with my sons, I would never be able to find any of the pieces because they would be scattered everywhere. So they'd be like, all right, Dad, let's just build something different.
Oh man, that'd be so disappointing. You put the whole thing together and you're just missing that one piece.
You don't know where it went. It's like, oh my gosh. And my kids
swallowed it.
There's a lot of we were going to talk a little bit about Star Wars news, but there's a lot I want to talk about, but it's spoilery because Andor just dropped, right? And was it the last episode or second to last episode, something like that?
I'm honestly not sure.
And because there's a lot of news dropping that there's a second season coming, so so that's big news. So I didn't want to talk about any of that stuff. I said no news on that part because a lot of the stuff is spoilery, so we'll wait a little bit and we'll talk about that stuff too. Not a lot of Star Trek news either. I usually talk about Star Trek because I'm the Trekkie here of the group.
Okay.
Ambrosia's the Star Trek. I'm the Trekkie.
Yep.
Not a lot of Trek news. There's a lot of cool stuff happening with the series, but not too much. So what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna spend the last 15-20 minutes talking a little bit about what's in our pull list.
All right.
All right, everybody. This is part of the show where we talk about what's in our pull list, whether we are liking it, reading it, or it's been on our pile for a long time. I know, Patrick, you got a big pile of to read books over there, right?
I do. Yeah, it's out of control actually. Like I have a pull list, at my local comic shop, and I go in like every 3 months or so and pick up a stack, about this big.
Oh my gosh.
And then I put it on top of the stack I already have. So it's so backed up.
That's funny. Yeah. I used to listen. I was really bad with my pull list. I would pick it up like every week, right? But my pull list turned into like a $200 a week, like pull list. Like there was one time, seriously, my wife was like, are you really? I hope she's not listening down because I don't want to bring this back up, because there was literally 1 month where every week I spent like $200 on comic books. I said, okay, that month I'm glad that month's over. But I was working 3 jobs.
Okay.
And the bills were getting paid, and one job was literally paying for my comic books. So leave me alone.
Okay.
I made it work, guys. All right. So I went and started. Listen, I took on a dishwashing job just to pay for my comic books.
Hey, you made it work.
Right. Dude, I looking at this list here. I really like this cover, this Nightwing cover. That's a pretty cool cover. I don't think I'm gonna read it though, because I'm very behind. They're almost on 100 here. Holy crap, 100!
That's unbelievable.
That is freaking awesome. World's Finest. I know that there's some of those are doing really good. Something is Killing the Children. That has been on my list for the longest time. I have like the first and second issue. Yep. They're on 26 now, man. I've been falling off on reading this.
I've been trade waiting on this, and I've read the first 3 trades. 3, is that right? Yeah, and it's
holy crap, awesome. 3 trades already.
It's really, really good. I actually bought the library edition, and it's beautiful, and it's really great.
That's so cool. Yeah, this was a really cool book when it came out. Dude, there's so many X-Men titles, like all this stuff, but this one looks pretty cool looking. I'd be down to read that one too. I'm really interested in reading this one, Batman One Bad Day, Mr. Freeze, number 1. Yep. I know this is from the is this from let's see, let's open it up. Let's look at it, because I don't know if it's Sean Murphy, right? Sean Murphy?
No, it's Mateo Scalera.
No, okay. Yep. It looks a lot like his style.
It does.
And his
in fact, Mateo Scalera has been doing some of the White Knight miniseries that Sean Murphy's writing. So their styles are very similar, and I love all of it.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to reading this.
Very cool. When I saw this, I was like, yep, I'm down. Look at these variant covers though.
Yeah,
those are dope.
Pretty sick.
Those are really cool. Ooh, that one's so cool.
I love Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is probably one of my favorite Batman villains.
Very cool. We got a ton of people on this book. Ton of people. A lot of really cool names though.
Yeah.
Tons of great stuff. I'm down to read this. Let's read what this one's about. Going back to the Dark Knight's early days in Gotham City, Batman and Robin, Dick Grayson, face down the coldest winter Gotham City has ever seen. A winter so cold that Mr. Freeze, Victor Fries. I always hated that. I know. No longer. I hated that name. No longer needs his containment suit to survive. He is in an element where he can thrive. Robin emphasizes with Mr. Freeze All Freeze wants to do is save his wife Nora, like always. But Batman warns Robin not to give his empathy to Victor Freeze. He's a man who's decided. I can't even read tonight. Decided his own fate along. This is a long.
It is
synopsis.
It really is.
Stayed a long time ago and he deserves none of our warmth and winter. He will this winter, and he will show his true wickedness and power. Are you kidding me? That was a long. I don't think
that was a mouthful.
That was a lot.
Yeah,
I think we could have written that a little bit better. Very cool. Listen, I always really hate when they write these synapses because I'm just like, come on, that's far too much information.
Yeah,
and you could have written a better log long. Very cool. I'm excited to read this though. I'm down, dude.
Totally down with this for sure.
Yeah, very cool. That one's going on the list. Catwoman versus Punchline. Listen, I loved the idea of them bringing Punchline in, but I don't know. Do you think they're using her too much now?
Yep. And Catwoman and Joker. Like, I'm a little. I don't know if you're reading Chip Zdarsky's Batman series, but I'm glad that he's brought in something new for at least for the first arc. And then we'll see.
I have not been reading any DC or Marvel lately. I've been pulling it and I've been adding them to my Comixology list.
Yeah.
But I haven't been reading anything.
It's really good. It's a lot of fun.
I'm always down with the Gunslinger Spawn. Like,
sure.
I just love the character design. Even if the book is bad, I'm down with the characters. Like, it's just, come on. It's silly. Yeah. It's a Gunslinger Spawn, whatever.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. They're on 14 already. That's pretty cool. Gambit number 5 looks good. I might read that one. Dark Crisis, Young Justice. That's interesting. Seems like they're going to be doing an event there. We got Batman. Ooh, what is this? So they're in another event. Here we go. Yeah. Here's another event.
I don't know.
Dark Crisis. Looks like they're always doing these events, and it's like you always have to do these tie-ins, right?
Yep.
They all tie in. You have to buy them all. You have to buy like 6 or 7 different ones, and then you fall behind. Like that's why. Listen, that's why I was spending $200 a month, because I was literally I bought in and it was doing during the Rebirth thing, right? Because I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna check out this Rebirth. I'm gonna buy every single issue for Rebirth. And when I went to go pick up my pull, they bring out a stack, and I'm just like, what's this? They're like, this is all the Rebirth,
right?
And I'm like, all of Batman Rebirth? Yeah. They're like, no, all of Rebirth. I'm just looking at this tie-in, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Yeah. You're like, yeah, you need that to read your Batman. You need to read all these tie-ins. Yeah. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did the same. I did the same thing with New 52, and it was just it was too much.
Yeah, yeah.
And I from that day on, I was like, never again. I'm not doing an entire event.
It's rough. Hey, kudos to you people out there who can do the events. I listen. I don't know how you guys do it. Look, they're still doing the DC vampire stuff. Like that's, and the Deceased was another event that they did recently, and it's still going. Dr. Aphra, that one's been really good lately. Ambrosia's been reading this one. We got Marvel Gold Goblin. I'm interested in that one. Have you heard about this one?
I've heard of it. I don't know the story behind it though.
So let's read it. It's not even easy being gold. Norman Osborn's sins may have been cleansed, but his memories weren't, and he's done plenty of horrific things to remember. Norman's worked hard to avoid all things Goblin and to stay on the straight and narrow. Consequences in Amazing Spider-Man pushed him to try superheroing, and he liked it. But when the media dubbed him the Gold Goblin, he has to start wondering, can he ever get away from the Goblin inside? So okay. This is Norman Osborn, the Goblin, as a superhero.
Interesting.
Okay, we got Cantwell's doing this. Let's see. We got Christopher Cantwell. Okay, he doesn't steer you wrong, so I'd be down to read this.
Yeah, Cantwell's good. Lan Medina's a good artist too.
We got some Ed McGuinness covers.
Yep. Bengal, Marco Cicchetto.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got some good. We got Alan Qua. Okay. We got some good people on these covers.
Yeah.
and some good stuff. Okay, who's the
It's a lot of variants, man.
Yeah,
So many
oh my God.
variants.
There's so look at this. There are so many variants. Look at that. Look at that. And then you got these double variants, these other ones. There's
Those are
like
nice. I like
the
that.
virgin one.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I just don't know if this is do you think this is gonna be around long enough for it to be anything?
I have an idea. It's probably a planned miniseries, but they don't call them miniseries anymore.
Mhm.
You know, they probably have a 5 or 6 issue arc planned and
Yeah.
then call
I
it
think
quits.
I think what yeah, right. I think what they do, I think they have here's my theory. I think they have a plan for like 4 issues, and then if it bombs, they can kill it
Right.
or go 2 more issues.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Probably.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Or 3, and then if it bombs, go 3 more issues.
Sure.
Whatever. But I think that 4 kind of rounds out a good story arc.
Yeah, it could. But they need 5 for a trade.
Yeah, right. So there you go. They could do the 5 or 6 issue mini, and then if it does good, they just keep it going and call it an ongoing.
Yeah.
Han Solo, I kind of fell off of reading that one.
I did too. Who's doing it now? I haven't looked at it in a while.
Let's look at it. Let's see.
The cover's kind of cool.
Who's on the covers? I mean, who's on the title here? We got
Mark Guggenheim.
Mark Guggenheim. Yep.
Okay. And Paul Fry,
Alex Sinclair, Paul Fry,
Phil Noto.
We got some good people.
Ferry. That's some good. Yeah, some really good stuff.
Good people on here. So, but I fell off, so I need to get back on that one.
I might give it a shot. Another shot.
Heck yeah. Black Adam. That one looks good. That's a really cool cover. It's you know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of like a Misfits cover. Or Misfits.
It does.
I don't know why. Like maybe like Glenn Danzig.
I could totally see that.
Yeah. Walking Dead. Oh my gosh, they're still doing that. They're bringing that one back, coloring it this time.
Of course, because they could sell it more.
Right. Blade Vampire Nation #1. From the pages of the Avengers. Let's see. Let's read this one. Because I'm always down for a Blade story here.
Sure.
Deep dive into Dracula's new kingdom as established in Avengers. Here we go. Another tie-in or a spinoff from a thing. So we go. Starring Blade, the sheriff of Vampire Nation, an assassination threatens to unravel the fledgling country and spread chaos throughout the world. But is getting rid of the nation full of bloodsuckers really all that bad of an idea? Blade himself isn't too sure. Okay, so we got to read Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers. Okay.
Well, so it kind of I read the first like 20 or 30 of Jason Aaron's run on the Avengers.
Okay.
And that kind of set up the world that this takes place in. It was kind of fun actually. So Blade became an Avenger, which I thought was interesting and different.
Yeah.
But then they created this, I think in Russia, created basically a sovereign entity or nation for vampires.
For the vampires.
When Dracula was living there, and it was like a whole storyline. So this I didn't know that he was now living there. So this must be an extension of that long storyline.
And he's the sheriff of the Vampire Nation.
Yeah.
Now, so.
And it looks like, and I love it that they used the Wesley Snipes as reference material for the cover here.
It looks a lot like Wesley Snipes.
It does.
Yeah. This is a really cool cover. I was not in until you started telling me that that storyline was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I might go back. I don't know. That's a lot. I might go back and read it. But this is, again, here we go, right? Here's the thing. Some of these events are really good, but when you have all these tie-ins and these spin-offs and all these other things, it's like you have to, in order to read the spin-off, you have to know the story over here.
I bet you could read this without having read the backstory. I bet you the catch-up page there in the front, the summary page that they do is probably enough for you.
Yeah, probably. still looking through here. So we got a new Star Wars Hidden Empire. That one's definitely going to be going on my list just because it's a new number one. Stargirl Lost Children. Nope. Just kidding. It looks cool. It looks good. I don't know if I'm going to put it on my list though.
Yeah, I haven't read a Stargirl since Jeff Johns wrote it, which is like 22 years ago.
Oh wow. Demon Wars, they have a Peach Momoko doing her own
that's really nice.
Player. Looks really cool. Let's see, Murder World Avengers #1. Oh, that one might be cool. And here we go. Here's the Namor the Submariner. I think this is where is this the one that I was thinking where they talk about Monica Rambeau? I'm not sure. Okay. But yeah, we got or no, it's this one. Wakanda. It's one of those. Yeah, it's Wakanda with M'Baku comes in, and this is where they talk about Monica Rambeau.
Okay.
I Hate Fairyland #1.
Did you read the first series?
I have not, but I was gonna say, isn't this an older one?
This is I guess a sequel of sorts to the Scotty Young one that from a few years back.
Okay. Pretty cool. I might grab that one and check it out. I did not read the last one though.
Okay. I read it quite a while ago, so I don't remember all the details, but it was a lot of fun.
Very cool. There's a lot of good stuff coming out this week. Chroma #1. Red Sonja. Let's see. Samurai Dog. We got a young Hellboy. Assault on Cats. Have you been reading this one?
I have. It's a fun series. I think Craig Rousseau was doing, or is this a new one? Yep, he's Craig Rousseau has been crushing the art, and the story is a lot of fun too.
All right.
And I'm a sucker for Lobster Johnson. So like Hellboy, Lobster Johnson, The Shadow, all those pulp heroes are really went into Bixby Grant for me. It's kind of, I love that noir, horror kind of angle. So yeah. I'll be picking that up for sure.
And definitely Mike Mignola is on this one too. So very, very cool. Yeah.
Yep.
And I've got my Hellboy over here. I don't know if you've seen this one.
Nice. Yeah, I've got that as well. Very nice.
Let's see. I'm definitely going to read that one. I need to check that one out. What is the West of Sundown? That one's still going. Isn't that? Was that one delayed for a little while? It feels like they haven't. It's been out for a while, but it's only on 6.
Honestly, I don't know. I think you're probably right though.
I feel like that one's been delayed like a lot.
It does feel like it's been around for a while.
We got She Bites #2 from Scout. That was really cool. The first issue was really cool. Chicken Devils #2. The first one, I didn't get to read the first one. I think I got it in my pulls somewhere in my Dropbox somewhere. I gotta read it. I haven't read it. Aftershock sends them sometimes. Frankenstein New World. That one looked really good.
I'm reading that. That's pretty good.
Are you reading that one?
Yeah, that's fun. If you like the Hellboy horrorverse, it's if you like any of the related ones, like the they did I can't remember the name of it, but they did the Vampire Hunter. They've done a whole bunch of like peripheral characters. This feels very much in line with the rest of those books. If you like the Mignolaverse, you'll dig this.
Heck yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah. Rogue State #1 from Black Mask. I don't know what that is, but I might check that one out. Cool cover. Excuse me. Sheena.
Yeah, I'm not picking up Sheena.
Definitely grab this one. The Vineyard, #3. This one is from a friend of mine, a friend of the show, Brian Hawkins. This one's very, very cool. Really great people. I work with them closely. This one's been a really good one that's coming out. Obviously, the Vineyard, about a wine vineyard. I don't want to give too much away, but let's read this one. Maranatha is caught off guard by the second sacrifice's identity, which causes her to lash out and question just how much more she could take of her family's murderous obedience to Dionysus. Meanwhile, siblings Sophia and Adonis face off about the extremism of their father's belief, and Callum gets in between. Very cool. This one, I don't know if you know about the whole Dionysus stuff going on there, but it's very, very cool take on this stuff of the vineyard.
Cool.
Really real cool book. I've been into this series really good.
Nice.
Very well. And then these guys, they also did the Black Cotton. They got something coming up very soon. We got about 5 minutes here. We should probably be we're going over on our time here. But yeah, let me go ahead and see what we got here. We're over on our time, but it's all good. But yeah, I think that's about all I'd be picking up here. Obviously I'm gonna be grabbing the Triskele here from some friends of mine. Another one here from some friends that I might be grabbing. Illusion Witch, another one from some friends of the show. Definitely gonna grab that one. This one is lettered actually by my buddy who did my logo for Wednesday Warriors, actually.
Nice.
So very cool. So make sure to grab that one. The letterer is my buddy. Go get his book.
Sweet.
Very cool. That's it for the books this week. Before we head out and close up shop, I do want to do our last thing here. Every single episode, I don't know if you know what we do at the end of the show. We talk a little bit about mental health. We do a mental health check-in. You don't have to do this, because what we do is we check in with one another, how we're doing. You can not participate, but I am gonna go ahead and give everybody this information about some stuff, some resources that they can use here.
Sure.
The suicide crisis lifeline is now a 3-digit number. You can type in 988. It's a new, shorter phone number. It will make it easier for people to remember and access the mental health crisis services. It is confidential, it's free, and you can get emotional support. All you got to do is call or type or text 988, and you should be able to get somebody on the other line for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's very cool. And you can also head on over to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. If you guys, this is we're into this mental health awareness. We want to make sure that this is a normalized kind of thing. Ambrosia and I specifically have we've had mental illness problem things going on in our families' lives and all that good stuff. So it's very, very close to us. So we really want to advocate for that and make sure that we normalize it here on this show.
Sure.
So if you could definitely you don't have to participate, but what we usually do is we ask one another how we do it, how we're doing, and how we're doing mentally, and just kind of checking in with one another. So
yeah,
Patrick, how have you been doing, man?
Thanks for asking. I've been doing okay. I mean, it doesn't hurt that my Kickstarter for my first project is doing so well right now, but depression and anxiety are something that occurs in my family quite a bit. So mental health is something that's very important to me, and I do pay attention to. And so right now, I mean, joking aside, I am doing quite well. Thank you for asking. It's everything is linked, so making sure that I'm eating all right and exercising and making some time for myself and hanging out with my kids and doing stuff that re-energizes me and also keeps my head in the right place is right now everything's clicking, so that's good. How about you?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a rough week for us a little bit, because my kids I think they've been kind of feeling the weather changes a little bit.
Sure.
Like my little one, my 2-year-old, I think he's been kind of like having a sinus thing, and he's been very, very whiny lately.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having some weird changes going on with my sinuses and stuff like that. So it almost feels like I've got a head cold, and I'm just like my throat, and I'm just like, I just feel drained, but it's not any sickness. It's just sinus and allergies, right? I take my sinus allergy meds, and then a couple hours later, all that gross feeling goes away. But I'm just like, it's rough, waking up and you're just like, I feel so drained and I feel sick.
Yep.
But I'm just glad it's not any kind of sickness or a cold or anything like that. It's just so something's like that's been going around in our house where we're in Arizona and we don't really normally get cold nights out here too often.
Yeah.
So so the change in weather has definitely affected us wimps out here
Yeah.
in the Southwest.
Hey man, it snowed here last night.
Oh wow.
For real. Like for
That's
3 hours, and now today it's gone, but like a week ago it was 72 degrees, and then last night it was snowing, so who knows?
See, we've been getting some good 65-degree weather. It's like 61 right now.
It's perfect.
61 degrees. It's gorgeous outside. It's light breeze. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the thing is, when it's this cold, we like to open up the house, right? And I hate to close it back down.
Yeah.
And when we close it back down, like last night, I think I did the wrong thing, and I slept with my window open, and I woke up with some drainage and was like, ugh. So, but yeah, right. And AXP says 61 degrees means heavy coats and fur boots in LA. Same thing here in Arizona. 61 degrees means you pull out your hoodies and your sweatpants.
Sure.
And your sweatsuits. And then you go. But the thing is, in Arizona, the weather's a little bipolar, because it'll be cold in the morning, super cold in the morning, right? Like maybe 30s, 40s in the morning. And then in the afternoon, it'll be like 70s. You're 65, 70. You're just like, oh man, why did I wear this morning?
Right. How do you dress? Layers, man. Layers.
Yeah, so you can peel them off. Yep. But no, man, that's been what's going on around here. We've been doing pretty good. It's a little rough going because of all the the change in the weather, but we're doing all right, man.
Good. We're
doing all right. I'm getting a lot of fun people to talk and hang out with, watching these really cool campaigns succeed, and some that don't succeed, and we kind of learn from them and keep going and don't let it get you, so that's kind of what we've been going on over here, man. So it's been a lot of adjusting.
Sure.
Yeah. But thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for allowing me to check in with you and do this quick mental health check-in.
Of course.
I do want to make sure that you guys know that there are some resources out there. If you guys do a quick Google search for your local warm line, that is WARM, warm line, you guys can get some really cool stuff there. They usually have a lot more resources for you in your local area. They know what you guys need in your little neighborhood there, so make sure you guys are Googling that first. Yes, this 988 number is really good, but you guys if you want some resources that they know that they can help you out within your own community, do a quick Google search of your local warm line, and you'll be able to receive some of those cool services there. Make sure that you are calling a crisis team before you reach out to police, unless you are in a emergency or a life threatening emergency, because police are not equipped to deal with mental health calls. They tend to want to shoot first or hurt people first before they can actually find out what's going on. I'm sorry. I love those people out there who are police officers. If you're police officers, thank you for your service. But you know just as well that it's very difficult for you guys to handle mental health situations, because you guys are there to de-escalate, and mental health is not about de-escalating right away. You have to work towards it. So getting a crisis team on site is a little bit less likely to get anybody hurt. Yep. So make sure you guys are reaching out to a crisis line before you reach out to police, unless you are in a life-threatening situation. Always call the police if you're in a life-threatening situation. Thank you guys for hanging out with me right here on Wednesday Warriors. Sorry that we're going a little bit over. JD, I owe you some Christmas gifts for hanging out a little bit late past your time, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for hanging out. He said he wants a Christmas beer. I'll get you a Christmas beer.
You do that.
Patrick, thanks for hanging out with me, taking the place of Ambrosia. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Can you please let everybody know where they can find you on social media, please?
Yes. So I am at Patrick Coyle 71 on Twitter. If you're still on Twitter, I know a lot of people are jumping. I'm on Facebook at Patrick Makes Comics. And I'm also on YouTube. If you search for Patrick Sucks at Drawing, I have a YouTube channel there where I talk about the creative process and what I do to deal with self-doubt and the creative process that way. Yeah.
Well, right now I know you're not self-doubting your anything, because your campaign is hitting $11,137 right now as we speak. Almost 293 backers, 9 hours to go.
It's crazy.
Like it's absolutely crazy. You and I both, when we were talking about this, you and I both were like, let's just do four grand. I think we're gonna hit 4,000. We could do 4,000.
Right.
Wow, you guys have definitely made it believe that this is something you want. I think, and listen, when you first brought this to me, I knew it was going to do something amazing. I knew that this is something that everybody was going to want, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm excited to read it myself, awesome. And I'm excited for everybody else to read it. All these almost 300 people are going to be able to read this thing. I'm excited to see what this is. 30 years in the making, man. Very cool. Before we go, I want to hear from you really quick. Why a mummy detective, and why is he chasing werewolves?
Okay, so he's a mummy detective because he was a cop in the 1930s. He busted up a museum heist that had a pharaoh on display and unleashed the curse of the pharaoh and became a living mummy. So he couldn't pass the police exam anymore because he's technically dead. So he became a private eye, and now he's been alive for almost 100 years.
Wow.
And everyone he's known or loved is dead and gone, and now he's just a miserable old coot who just wants to be left alone, but people won't leave him alone. So to keep the lights on, he still, takes cases, and he's basically fighting and chasing a werewolf because he's been hired by his client whose husband has gone missing right before a full moon. And in Harbor City, where he lives, that's a big deal because there's a large werewolf population there. So she's worried about her husband's life, fearful for his life. So that's the basic setup. And then I'm not going to say too much else because I don't want to ruin it. But there's a lot. If you like two-fisted hoo-ha action and werewolves, monsters, detective stories, noir, Batman the Animated Series, Hellboy, any of that kind of stuff, you'll probably dig this.
I got one other question.
Yeah.
It's been 100 years since he unleashed that curse. Has he tried to go back and test the police exam? Change, like they've had to make changes, right, to allow undead people.
Yeah. So Bix is the type of guy who also, after a certain amount of time, once he didn't have to follow their rules anymore, was like, I don't really want to go back. There are going to be some stories where we go back and see what he did during the 40s, 50s, during the war, during fighting gangsters and a bunch of other stuff where he worked with the police, but is still kind of his own kind of pulpy detective hero. Yeah.
So cool. I'm excited. That sounds a lot of cool. Like I'm going to hound you to get me a short story where he just goes back and tries again and he fails and he fails again. Maybe I can get an 8-pager out of you to do that.
We'll talk offline.
All right, thanks again for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out, man. Thank you guys for hanging out, and Ambrosia will be back next week, I promise. Thank you guys. You guys can find me at Joey Galvez 1984 on Twitter, possibly somewhere else. We'll see if it goes away. If it goes away, I'll let you guys know where you can find me again. But you can always find me on Facebook. You can always find me on Instagram. You can just do a quick Google search for the Geek Collective, and I'll be there too. You can find me there. What we do some cool stuff. We have podcasts. We have public relations. If you guys are running a campaign, we'll help you out. Just ask Patrick here. We helped him out, and he's got a great campaign. Yep. Make sure you guys are following the EXP because you guys find some really cool stuff right here on the EXP. Thank you guys, JD, our producer. Thank you guys. Thank him. He's the man behind the camera, and he does an amazing job. Thank you so much. Every single week, you do amazing. Thank you for hanging out. 14 minutes past your time. It's past his bedtime, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you, guys. Bye. Bye. Peace.